A PML 30 for 30.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jake. I'm the owner of the Bills. I'm the newest. Well, I guess I'm kind of tied with the Jets. I'm one of the newest members of the league. I'm 15, so I'm probably one of the youngest members. I like to think that makes me like an underdog.
Yeah, there you go.
People doubt me. Yeah. I'm trying to turn the Bills organization around. I like to make a statement this year.
What if I told you Jake's Bills made one of the biggest statements in PML playoff history? This is the Dave and Buster's incident. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Need some free summer fun? Then get to Dave & Buster's, because the Summer of Games is back with more new games than ever. And for a limited time, you can play 5 of the hottest new games for free. Face the mind-blowing action of Dream Raiders. Step into the shocking thrills of Dark Escape 4D. Win tickets on a giant temple run and so much more. Plus new food and drinks, too. Come get your free summer fun all day, every day for a limited time only. Play 5 of the hottest new games for free, only at Dave & Buster's.
Well, I was not in the league when it happened, but it sounds like Jake must have been getting his ass handed to him or something. And it also sounds like that's back when Cody was in his prime. Since I've joined, he's been borderline playoff team, and if he's winning a playoff game, then he was doing pretty well. It also sounds like Jake didn't have any speed at that time either if he was losing. So, but I think I'm on Cody's side there. He could have got the boot back in 18.
That's a great start right there. Well, we already know how fucking good Jake is, and it's not that pretty. So, I mean, he's lucky he got to leave that fucking playoff game, because that was when Cody was actually, like, decent at the game. But honestly, like, out of all the places you could fucking leave to, like, how do you fucking just choose to, you know what? Dave & Buster's, like, let's fucking go. Like, A, you can't drink. B, like, what else are you gonna fucking do? Play skee ball with other fucking adults? Like, you're the most sober 16-year-old I've ever seen. Like, he's probably never seen a tit in his life. So, I mean, he's honestly just wasted his time in playoffs. Let's be real.
Oh, absolutely egregious. Could not even believe that he did get booted, especially as a new player. I mean, of all the places you're gonna go to leave a playoff game, Dave & Buster's is like one of the last places you're going to be going for a playoff game. There's plenty of other places you could be going instead, but I don't know. Somehow Jake's still in the league. He was able to survive the incident.
You know, for as much time as Jake spends in PML chat, it's kind of weird that he just goes up and leaves for Dave & Buster's during a playoff game. Kind of fucked up, man. Can't go off leaving in a playoff game. I mean, he spends like 24/7 on the Slack chat.
I'm 17 years old. I'm the Raiders right now in PML Madden 21. I like the youngest person in PML, which is kind of like my only like thing that like sets me apart. I do a lot of stuff with like power rankings and articles and stuff for the league. I live in Western Washington State. And I guess today we're going to be talking about an incident that I like to generally put behind me. I feel like this episode shouldn't be called the Dave & Buster's incident. It really should be called the lost season of the PML Madden 19 Buffalo Bills.
And the PML commissioner. Been around since, let's see, Madden 12, almost a decade. I'm a big Jaguars fan. Love the Jag, even though they fucking just disappoint me week after week, year after year, decade after decade. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all about me.
So I remember the start of the season, I wasn't very good. It was, I think I started off 3-3, which isn't like it wasn't the worst record. I had a solid team back then. Like the most popular, or I guess the best player on my team was my running back, Ellis Gaines. You might remember him from some of the memes that were in the chat around that time. He was a really good running back. He had like 94 speed, and he was a superstar. And so I started off the season 3-3, and for the rest of the season, I didn't lose a single game. Okay, I finished the season 13-3. I won 10 straight. I beat the leader in the division, Patriots, who is Echo, and that was like my big win to close out the season. But Echo went 14-2, so he won the division, and so I was just a wild card team. I believe I was the 5th seed, which meant I got to play Kim Jong Cody and the Jaguars in the wild card round, which is a game that I was probably favored in. I mean, considering I was 13-3, you must have been like 12-4, I think. It was a game I felt very confident about. But I mean, the season, I don't remember specific games, but I had a few big wins. I mean, the big thing is the 10-game win streak. Yeah, that's the extent of my knowledge of the regular season. Because, yeah.
When he first entered the league, I actually think Wind Sorcery joined like immediately after he joined. Or it was pretty close. And I fucking remember us always making fun of them for fucking being the same person and whatnot. What year did he joined in Madden 19? I think there's like 3 seasons left. I want to say he joined. The very first year he joined, he wasn't very good. I think he finished 2-14, 3-13. So I was just like, okay, this kid's just another kid. I actually, at the time, I didn't know that he was that young until we actually did that video that you put out when we actually got him into the thing and whatnot and actually started hearing his voice. And we were like, wait a minute, this kid don't sound like he's fucking our age. So, but that following season he came back and made the playoffs, and yeah, that story goes with that like that.
The playoffs are here. You have your matchup against who at the time was the all-time leader in PML Super Bowls, Cody. How did you feel going into that game?
Well, I was nervous. I remember being nervous. It was my first PML playoff game. And I mean, this is the best team I believe this is my 2nd season in PML. And so, I mean, having a playoff win in my 2nd season would have been like a really big deal for me. And I also felt like this team was like capable of being a Super Bowl team. I've won 10 straight. I didn't feel like I could lose. I really liked my chances in that game. I mean, I don't think I had played Cody prior to that point, so I didn't really know how he played, but I was really confident heading into the game for sure.
He was intimidated. I honestly don't think he knew what he was doing necessarily either. He was just I think he was just kind of new to the whole sim franchise and whatnot. And I mean, I don't want to jump the gun on any of these questions that you have for me, so I'll save some for the end if I need to.
All right. So the game starts. Give me your timeline of events in this game, including any scoring, big plays, or anything you remember once the game started.
I remember that on my opening drive, I went down the field. I scored a touchdown. I don't remember how, but I just remember my offense was clicking. It like everything that I was trying to do worked. I scored a touchdown, and then Cody got the ball, and then he went down the field and he scored a touchdown. I remember that. I don't remember exactly who caught it, both offenses were looking really good to start the game. And then I got the ball back and I went down the field. I scored another touchdown, and I distinctly remember kicking off. It was the end of the first quarter, and I remember Cody got the ball, and pretty much after I kicked off the ball and he got it, I ended up having to pause the game because at that time I heard the doorbell ring, and I couldn't I did not anticipate the doorbell ringing at that time that early, and I just kind of panicked and I just paused the game and I got up and left. I set the controller down and I walked away. In retrospect, with the things I know now, that was a really stupid move, but I didn't know what to do at the time. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I paused the game and I walked away. I remember it was 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and I was up 14-7. Cody had the ball, decent, like from his own 25-yard line. It was a touchback, and yeah.
Happened right around, I want to say midway through the second quarter. It was about maybe 4 or 5 minutes left in the second quarter, I want to say. He was winning 14-7, and I had the ball. I was Actually, he had the ball. I turned it over, I believe. So he was driving on me. So he almost would have went up 21-7. I think EJ Gaines he busted maybe like a 50 or 40-yard run downfield to put him up 14-0, and then I went downfield and scored. I had a nice stop on him, but then I ended up turning the ball over, I remember. And then he just paused it. And I was just like, okay, maybe he's just changed his depth chart or something. And yeah, so I mean, the rate it was going, he probably would have pulled a nice upset. But I guess the world may never know what he could have done.
Okay, so here's the question. Why did you leave your playoff game to go to Dave & Buster's? And if you knew you were going, why did you even start the game?
All right, this is where people get confused. And I'm here to clear the air and give exactly what went down. So, I believe the day was a Wednesday. I remember because it was half-price games at Dave & Buster's. And so we had to go to Dave & Buster's that day. There's no going the next day or that weekend. It had to be that day. It was a Wednesday. I believe we advanced the day before on Tuesday. And I was scheduling with Cody and the DMs, and it looked like our schedules did not match up at all. Like the soonest we would have been able to play would be that weekend. And so on that Wednesday, there was a brief moment in time in which it was after school, and Cody was available, and I was available, but I knew that I think it was about 3 p.m. my time, and Cody was going to get back home. He was going to be able to play around 3:40 or 3:30 my time, and I had to leave for Dave & Buster's at 4 p.m. And so that would only give us about 30 minutes to play between 3:30 and 4 my time, assuming that my ride showed up on time at 4 p.m. And so I'm I'm talking with Cody, and I say, look, if we kick off at 3:40 my time, there's a very slim chance that we're going to be able to play this entire game. And he's like, okay, then it looked like the game was going to end up just being a sim, either a fair sim or a forced sim. I don't know. It just looked like the game was going to be simmed. I told him, look, we're not going to be able to play. My ride's going to interrupt me. I can't hold them. I'm going to just have to. There's no way we finish this game. And I tell him we can try, but unless they're like 30 minutes or an hour late, there's no way we're going to be able to finish this game. And I thought I had made that clear, that I told him, look, we're not going to be able to finish the game in all likelihood. But we played it anyways. I would love to have seen the DM conversation, because apparently I didn't make myself clear. We ended up playing the game anyways. And so I thought that maybe there was like something that I didn't know, like you'd be able to exit the game and then resume from that point, or we'd be able to just run it back. I don't know. I'm not sure. In retrospect, I didn't think that it was going to be as big of a deal as it ended up being, with like suspensions and everything, because I thought I made it clear, look, I'm not going to be able to finish this game in all likelihood, but we can try, and if they're late, then we finish the game. If they're not, I'm going to just have to get up and leave because I'm not holding them. Yeah. That was, and there was also this thing where I really thought, because when you do an offline franchise, if you like exit a game, it saves your progress where you left off, and you can like reload into the game and pick up like from that point. I thought maybe there was something like that for online franchise games that I was like completely like forgetting about, but obviously that wasn't the case. And I ended up taking the forced loss, which kind of sucked.
So the game pauses. What did you think was going on?
By the way he described it to me, basically we're going back and forth on like a set time. He kept saying that, like, I kept pushing for a time to play, and he kept saying that he can only play during this time. And I told him, like, you can't start a game and then pause it and then expect someone to sit around and wait for you to do something and then, come back and then play. So my assumption was that he had to do something during the game. I assumed that he had to help his mom with groceries or like bring something in the house, something along those lines. So I was like, all right, I'll give you like 5 minutes, to pause, 5-10 minutes or whatever to pause. And 5 minutes passed, I texted him, no response. 10 minutes passed, I text him, No response. Then I text the commission group and I'm like, dude, I've been on pause for like fucking 10, 15 minutes waiting for this kid. I don't know what's going on right now, but he's not messaging me back. All he's told me was he had to go do something and he'd be right back. So I'm sitting there, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. I'm sitting, I just don't want to quit because I don't want to quit and have man give me the loss and then I get fucked for it. Like that's what, especially in the playoffs, I wasn't trying to have that. So essentially I was just waiting for him to respond to me. And it took a good, I want to say 25, 30 minutes for him to respond to me and finally be like, yeah, sorry, man, I had to put you on pause. I left the house for a little bit. He actually didn't tell me where he was going. It took me a while to get it out of him. But then he's like, yeah, my buddies picked me up. We went to Dave & Buster's. Sorry. I told you I couldn't play the game and start it and not finish it. And I just fucking lost it at that point.
In terms of the game, I remember on the car ride to Dave & Buster's, because it was my friend and his brother. We drove to Dave & Buster's. It was like an hour-long drive. And I remember just being on my phone looking at Slack and seeing the reactions, especially Cody being furious. That's pretty much the timeline events to what I remember it being.
So what was your reaction when you found out that he went to Dave & Buster's?
Oh my God. I wish I could video recorded myself because it was priceless. I fucking texted the commission group. I was like, dude, this guy fucking left me on pause to go to Dave & Buster's to play games with his friends, and he's not gonna be back for at least another 2 hours. And we were the last game holding up his Vans, I'm pretty sure too. So I was like, what do you want to do here? I don't want to quit necessarily and get the loss. And they were telling me, I believe you guys were telling me to do the dashboard and shit like that because it would work and I wouldn't get the loss because it was still in the second quarter and whatnot. But I was just bitching to the committee. I was like, this kid's done. I'm fucking kicking him. He is fucking, there's no room for who quits a playoff game and just leaves the commissioner on pause? Out of all people, you're going to leave somebody on pause. You're going to leave the commissioner on pause. That is some fucking, you got to have some balls to do that. That's all I'm going to say. But I wanted to say that, I wanted to kick Jake pretty bad, honestly, from PML at that point for leaving me on pause. I was heated. But I think I know Eric definitely stuck his foot out. And maybe someone else did too and said that we should give him another shot and give him an opportunity to finish it out because he didn't know. He was young and he didn't know the mistake he made and whatnot. But I call bullshit still on that.
So what happened to Jake because of this incident?
That's going to be pretty hard to recall, but I believe we suspended his running back, EJ Gaines, 6 games the following year. And then we ended up telling him that, hey man, if you quit again, there's no room for that in this league. There's no quitting. You're out of here. And he's like, oh shit, man. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't know. I told you I couldn't play this game and you were pushing me and I didn't want to hold the whole league up and shit like that. So a couple of the admins definitely stepped out and went on a limb for Jake, which a lot of guys in here honestly have had that same situation happen to them. Not pausing and leaving the game to go to fucking play some video games at Dave & Buster's, but there's been times. Mamba's a good example. There was a couple commissioners that wanted Mamba out of the league after his first season or two, but I stuck my leg out and said, maybe we should give this guy a try. And here Mamba is today, fucking being Mamba.
All right, so did you know that Jake would be going to Dave & Buster's before the game started?
No, I don't recall he ever said that he was going to Dave & Buster's. I do recall him saying that he might have to go do something with his buddies or something along that line. I can't exactly pinpoint what it was, but he had there was no thing of saying, hey man, I'm gonna probably go to Dave & Buster's and leave you on pause. Nothing like that.
All right, if the game would have finished, who would have won?
If it would have finished the way it was going, Jake probably would have beaten me. But during that time, I was definitely more of a second half player. So it's a toss up because I don't know. He was inexperienced too. I mean, based on his playoff games from the past couple of Maddens with only one win and I don't know 5-6 trips. You know, the playoffs are a different breed of animal. You know, you can be up 21-0 on somebody, but you can also blow that lead pretty easily if you're not careful with it in the playoffs.
If the game would have been played, how do you feel it would have turned out?
I almost guarantee, I guarantee I would have won that game. I mean, I just was so confident at that time. My offense came out. We were looking really good. I just feel like it probably would have been a higher scoring game, but I would say there's like a 90% chance I win that game. I felt really good about my play style, my players. Everything was just clicking at that time. And really, I felt like the only thing that could stop me was a forced loss, and that's pretty much exactly what ended up happening.
I don't know. I still got to go with Cody though, because he ended up with the win. And he is the commissioner after all, so can't badmouth him at all.
Oh, Cody definitely would have won. I mean, Jake can barely even beat me, so.
Jake had no shot. Come on.
So are you saying he was maybe trying to escape?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I would say escape. I would say hiding his shame, because he had to say Dave and Buster's to seem like, oh yeah, dude, I'm one with the adults. Like, I can fucking hang with them. Like, nah, dude. Nah. Jake's gotten better over time, but Dave and Buster's, that's his fucking... Nah, like... The whole thing's just fucking retarded, let's be real. Like, I don't know how the hell... I don't even know if Jake could actually beat Cody back then, like, legitly. Of course, EA has been sucking that man off when it comes to developments, but nah, I think Cody had him in the bag, and Dave and Buster's, he's one to seem like, yeah, dude, fuck the playoffs. Let's go fucking skee ball.
All right, can you tell me a little bit about your Dave and Buster's experience?
It wasn't that good. I remember distinctly showing up there, and like, there was like some fun games and stuff, and I mean, I had a good time. It probably wasn't worth the playoff force loss. I remember there was one like racing game where they have like the driver's seat, and the whole thing was like completely broken. The driver's seat was literally like on the floor, like on its side. There's like wires poking out. Like, the place was kind of a dump, but it was fun. I think I played the Deal or No Deal game, where you like, the farther you go, the more tickets you get. And I'm pretty sure I won like 500 tickets or something. And at the end of the night, I ended up getting a basketball, but it was an indoor-only basketball. And I have no use for that, because I don't have an indoor gym. Like, I just have a basketball hoop near a concrete area, and so I couldn't even use it. This was like kind of a waste. But yeah, I don't regret going. It was fun. I had a good time.
How would you rank the Dave and Buster's incident with other things you've seen?
That and Dave and Buster's got to be top 5, I'd have to say. It's got to be the craziest playoff thing I've ever seen, just the way it unfolded. Like, I've never seen anybody bust their ass so hard to get into the playoffs and then completely just fucking throw it away. It's got to be top 3 incidents. The other 2 that come to my mind are the blowout that happened between me and Travis. That was pretty big fucking thing that happened. And then the other one, I guess, would be the Sam guy, the murderer that fucking stalks me all the time. That guy's fucking, he's just always fucking up there. So definitely top 3, I would have to say. I can't believe that he worked so hard all season long. He's just hyping up this man, EJ Gaines, and just hyping up himself so much that he just left.
All right, and one last question for this. Do you think we'll ever see anything like the Dave and Buster's incident again?
Anything like this again? That'd be pretty hard, fucking, for somebody to do something crazy like that. I mean, the Patriots guy fucking in the tournament, he quit against me when I was beating his ass. So that's pretty fucking, that's probably about the craziest thing that's happened since Dave and Buster's, I would say. Yeah, it's hard to, it's going to be hard to top that, man. I don't know. Unless Sam comes back as a fucking, like, random fucking gamer tag and wins the Super Bowl or something and unmask himself. Something crazy like that. But no, I'm going to have to go with no. I don't think so.
So let's say another opportunity arises during a playoff game to go to Dave & Buster's. Would you leave your playoff game again?
I would have a hard time. I would try not to put myself into that situation. But if I was put in that situation, I would probably leave the playoff game. I mean, I can't. Unfortunately, real world stuff comes ahead of PML stuff. Yeah. But I would try not to put myself in that situation. I've been really good about scheduling ever since. I always make sure that I have that guaranteed 1 hour time slot where the chances of me having to get up and leave randomly like that are severely reduced.
Do you think he should have got a boot for doing that?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the rules were like back then, but if we quit a game today, you get the boot. It's pretty quick and decisive. So, obviously, leaving for Dave & Buster's. I mean, if you're gonna have an excuse to leave a game, it might be one, but I don't know. It's definitely questionable. I'm happy I'm not an admin to make that decision.